In the middle of World War II, a year unlike any other unfolded for the United States Mint. And out of this turbulent time came one of the most fascinating and controversial coins in American history, the 1940 3D Lincoln wheat cent. This 1-cent coin, struck at the Denver Mint, might seem ordinary to the untrained eye, but beneath its silvery surface lies a story of innovation, error, war, and a legacy that continues to captivate collectors to this day. Let's travel back to 1943. The United States was fully immersed in World War II. The war effort demanded an enormous quantity of materials, and one of those materials was copper, a key ingredient in making ammunition casings, shell heads, and other military essentials. As the government scrambled to conserve every ounce of copper for the war, a bold decision was made. The U.S. Mint would stop making pennies out of their traditional bronze alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Instead, for the first time in U.S. history, pennies would be made out of steel. This new composition was revolutionary, literally. The 1943 Lincoln cents were struck on low-grade steel planchets and coated in zinc to prevent rust. The result was a bright, silvery coin that looked more like a dime than a penny. And while this new look was met with curiosity and even excitement, it also led to confusion. Many Americans mistook these coins for dimes. Some vending machines and coin-operated devices rejected them altogether. But the change was necessary, and the Mint pressed forward. At the Denver Mint, more than 217 million of these 1943 steel cents were produced. That makes the 1940 3D coin, in general terms, fairly common. But, and this is crucial, not all 1940 3D cents are created equal. Most of these coins, worn down by circulation, have lost their bright zinc coating, leaving behind a dull gray or rusted surface. But high-grade examples with strong luster, full details, and minimal spots are increasingly rare. And in mint state condition, they command serious attention and serious money. Now here's where things get even more interesting. There are whispers in the numismatic world of a 1940 3D Lincoln cent, struck not on a steel planchet, but on a bronze one, a leftover from 1942. These bronze planchet errors were supposed to be fully phased out before the 1943 production run began. But somehow a few slipped through the cracks. It's believed that fewer than 20 genuine bronze 1943 cents exist across all mint marks. Among them, the 1940 3D struck in bronze is among the rarest. Only 1 or 2 verified examples are known. In fact, one of these elusive 1940 3D bronze pennies sold for over $1.7 million at auction. That's right. What was once a humble 1-cent coin turned into a multi-million-dollar treasure, simply because of a minting oversight during a time of global crisis. These ultra-rare 1940 3D bronze pennies are often tested with magnets. If a 1943 penny doesn't stick to a magnet, that's a huge red flag. It could mean it was made from bronze. But caution is essential. There are countless counterfeits out there, copper-plated steel cents, altered 1940 8D coins with manipulated dates, and more. True authentication requires a professional numismatist and often metallurgical testing to confirm the coin's composition and origin. But even among the common steel variants, the 1940 3D has plenty of value. In higher mint state grades, especially MS-66 and above, these coins sell for hundreds, sometimes thousands, of dollars depending on eye appeal, strike quality and luster. Coins with strong cartwheel luster, no spotting, and sharp details on Lincoln's beard and wheat stalks are especially prized. There's also the question of doubling, die varieties that can add even more value. Although the 1940 3D is not known for prominent double dies like some of its cousins, collectors still seek out minor variations and repunched mint marks. To this day, the 1940 3D steel penny remains a favorite entry point for beginner collectors. Its affordability in circulated grades makes it accessible, while its historical significance and the possibility of discovering a bronze error make it thrilling. This tiny piece of metal tells a massive story. It reminds us of a time when the entire nation rallied for a cause, when every resource mattered, and when even the humble penny was transformed by necessity and ingenuity. Whether you hold a 1940 3D steel cent in your hand, or simply admire it from afar, know this: it's not just a coin, it's a snapshot of history, frozen in steel and zinc, whispering tales of wartime America, minting innovation, and numismatic dreams that still capture imaginations nearly a century later. Next up, in the grand timeline of American coinage, there are certain coins that serve not just as currency, but as keys to understanding the economic, industrial, and cultural shifts of an entire era. One of those coins is the 1911 Lincoln wheat cent, a small copper piece with a rich and storied legacy that spans well over a century. This humble 1-cent coin, bearing the portrait of Abraham Lincoln and the S mint mark of San Francisco, is far more than a unit of money. It's a historical artifact, a collector's dream, and a symbol of an evolving nation. To understand the significance of the 1911 penny, we must first step back in time to the early 20th century. The Lincoln cent was introduced just 2 years earlier in 1909, replacing the Indian head design that had graced the nation's pennies since the mid-1800s. President Theodore Roosevelt had sought to bring more artistry and symbolism to American coins, and the result was the now iconic Lincoln wheat cent, designed by Victor David Brenner. From the beginning, the coin stirred public interest. Lincoln's image had never appeared on U.S. coinage before, and its introduction marked the centennial of his birth. Americans welcomed the familiar face of the great emancipator on their everyday change. But production was not without its hiccups. Controversy over designer initials, regional minting difficulties, and evolving manufacturing techniques set the stage for what would become a fascinating era of numismatic variety. Enter the year 1911. While the Philadelphia and Denver mints struck millions of cents, the San Francisco Mint, tasked with serving the coinage needs of the West Coast, produced far fewer. In fact, only 4,026,000 Lincoln cents were minted in San Francisco that year. This relatively low mintage makes the 1911 one of the scarcer early Lincoln cents, particularly in high grades. Most examples entered circulation and remained in use for decades, enduring the wear and tear of daily life. That means surviving high-grade examples are especially rare and sought after today. For collectors, the 1911 represents a beautiful challenge. It's not the rarest Lincoln cent by mintage alone, but the survival rate in choice condition is remarkably low. Most coins that resurface in collections or coin rolls are heavily worn, with flat hairlines on Lincoln's head, weak wheat ears on the reverse, and darkened or scratched surfaces. But when a crisp, well-struck, and minimally toned 1911 appears, particularly in mint state, it becomes an event in the numismatic community. This scarcity has translated into significant market value. A lightly circulated 1911 might fetch $750 to $1,500, depending on eye appeal. A coin in extremely fine condition might command several $100s. But step into the realm of uncirculated, where original luster dances across the surface and details remain razor-sharp, and prices climb dramatically. A true MS-65 red example can sell for over $10,000, if not more due to the coin's scarcity in such pristine form. Coins with original mint red color are the rarest of all. Copper is notoriously reactive, and most 1911 cents have mellowed to brown or red-brown tones over the decades. To find a coin that has retained its full mint red luster is to find something extraordinary, almost miraculous. The San Francisco Mint itself played a unique role in American coinage history. Known for its meticulous craftsmanship, it also had limitations in terms of supply and infrastructure compared to the larger Philadelphia facility. The 1911 cent exhibits many of the hallmarks of early West Coast minting: subtle variations in strike strength, occasional planchet impurities, and die where that creates minor differences from coin to coin. Some numismatists have spent decades cataloging these variations, searching for repunched mint marks, doubled dies, and other die state anomalies that can push a coin's value even higher. Beyond its physical traits, the 1911 penny carries historical weight. The United States in 1911 was a country on the edge of massive transformation. The Second Industrial Revolution was in full swing. Immigration was reshaping the nation's cities, and the seeds of global conflict were being sown across the Atlantic. This little coin circulated in an America still lit by gas lamps in many towns, where horse-drawn carriages shared roads with the earliest automobiles. And penny candy really did cost a penny. It jingled in the pockets of factory workers, farmers, and shopkeepers. It passed through the hands of immigrants seeking a new life and children buying their first treats at corner stores. And then, as the years marched on, most 1911s cents quietly disappeared. Some were lost, some were melted, others were simply worn beyond recognition. And that's what makes each surviving example a treasure. Every 1911s cent is a survivor, a witness to history preserved in metal. There's something deeply human about collecting coins like the 1911s. It's not just about rarity or price guides. It's about holding a piece of the past in your hand. It's about marveling at the journey this coin has taken, from the bustling mint floors of San Francisco, to the palm of a miner in Nevada, to a child's piggy bank in Oregon, and eventually, perhaps, into the protective case of a modern-day collector who recognizes its true worth. The 1911s Lincoln wheat cent continues to be a cornerstone of serious Lincoln cent collections. It's a coin that combines moderate mintage, low survival rates in high grade, deep historical context, and the allure of the San Francisco Mint's early 20th century operations. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just beginning your collecting journey, the 1911s is a coin that invites study, admiration, and respect. It's not just copper. It's a living relic, a quiet echo from a century ago, and its story is far from over. Next up, in the long, winding journey of the Lincoln wheat cent series, certain dates have become pillars, landmarks that every serious collector recognizes as key points in a landscape that stretches from 1909 all the way to 1958. Among these, the 1925s Lincoln wheat cent holds a special place, not because it boasts the lowest mintage or the flashiest variety, but because it stands as a shining example of regional minting challenges, economic reality, and the power of condition rarity. It's a coin that demands respect, not for what it seems at first glance, but for what it represents when viewed through the eyes of a dedicated numismatist. To understand why this coin matters, we need to return to the mid-1920s, a period of cautious optimism in the United States. The First World War was over, and while the 1929 crash had not yet arrived, the economy in 1925 was walking a fine line between post-war boom and agricultural depression. In this era of shifting fortunes, money moved fast, but not necessarily evenly across the nation. And as always, coinage followed commerce. The Philadelphia Mint produced the lion's share of cents to serve the heavily populated East. Denver, supplying the Midwestern corridor, struck millions more. And then there was San Francisco, tasked with providing coinage for the sprawling and still developing American West. The San Francisco Mint, in 1925, produced 6,256,000 Lincoln cents. While not the absolute lowest mintage in the series, it was still significantly smaller than the tens of millions struck at Philadelphia. And what makes the 1925s stand out is not just its mintage, but what happened to those coins after they left the mint. Most of them entered hard circulation. They traveled through logging camps, farming towns, mining outposts, general stores, and train depots. They were handled, exchanged, scraped, and worn. The result: a survival pattern that left very few high-grade examples for future generations. Indeed, when you look at the 1925s Lincoln cent today, you'll find that most surviving specimens fall in the lower circulated grades. Good, very good, or fine. In these conditions, the coin's details are significantly flattened. Lincoln's hair and beard are worn smooth. The wheat ears on the reverse are often little more than outlines. And yet, even in this condition, the coin holds a special charm. It speaks of endurance, of journeys taken, of value transferred in quiet corners of a growing America. Now, when we move up the grading scale, the true rarity of the 1925s becomes crystal clear. Finding an extremely fine or about uncirculated example is a challenge. These coins are few and far between, and demand strong premiums. But in mint state, in true uncirculated condition, the 1925s becomes a numismatic treasure, particularly because San Francisco cents of this era are notorious for their poor strike quality. Weak strikes, die fatigue, and uneven surfaces plagued much of the output. So even coins that were never spent might still show weak detail, which makes a sharply struck, well-preserved example an absolute standout. And then there's color. Copper is not a forgiving metal. It darkens its spots, it reacts with its environment. Most 1925s cents, even those in better shape, have turned brown or red-brown over the years. Truly red examples, those with their original mint luster intact, are incredibly rare. A genuine MS-65 red 1925S is not just a condition rarity. It's a showpiece, a museum-worthy specimen that can fetch tens of thousands of dollars at auction. These coins don't come around often. When they do, they draw fierce competition among elite collectors. But value isn't just in the numbers. It's in the narrative. Think about where these coins have been. Picture a dusty coin drawer in a California general store. Imagine a farmer in the Central Valley dropping a 1925S sent into a tin box. Or a young boy in San Francisco receiving one as change after buying a piece of penny candy. These are more than romantic images. They are the lived reality of this coin. This is how it moved through the world. And every worn 1925S cent we find today is a trace of that journey. Every high-grade example is a rare survivor of a century's worth of friction, air, heat, and human touch. From a collector's standpoint, the 1925S is an essential key date in the Lincoln Wheat series, not because it's impossible to find, but because it's so difficult to find in truly excellent condition. It separates casual collectors from committed ones. It's one of those coins that tells you something not just about minting, but about circulation patterns, regional economies, and the value of patience. Many collectors will tell you they found their 1925S after years of searching, not months. They passed over dozens of low-grade pieces before settling on the one that finally met their standards. And there's something poetic about that. This coin teaches patience, it teaches perseverance, and it rewards those who truly study its story. Because the story of the 1925S is not just about metal and numbers. It's about America, about westward expansion, about industrial evolution, about life in the roaring 20s outside the big cities. It's about a mint on the edge of a continent, doing its best with limited resources and outdated equipment. And it's about the people who used these coins, not as collectibles, but as tools of survival, of trade, of daily life. Today, as we sit in a digital age where value often feels abstract, the 1925S Lincoln Wheat cent remains a tangible connection to a time when every penny truly counted, when money was heavy in the pocket and heavy with meaning. And so this unassuming little coin, with its worn edges and soft strike, continues to shine in the hearts of those who understand it. Not flashy but profound, not rare for the sake of being rare, but rare because it has lived, rare because it has been through something. And in the world of numismatics, that kind of rarity is the most enduring of all. Next up, when we examine the vast and fascinating journey of the Lincoln Wheat cent series, the 1924S Lincoln cent emerges as a quiet but significant chapter in the story, though it might not immediately command the spotlight like some of the rarer or more famous dates. The 1924S embodies a unique intersection of history, scarcity, and the challenges faced by the San Francisco Mint during the early 20th century. For collectors who appreciate the nuanced tales behind every coin, this date offers a compelling narrative that goes far beyond mere numbers. The year 1924 was a period of relative calm in America, sandwiched between the turbulence of World War I's aftermath and the economic highs and lows. Leading up to the Great Depression, Calvin Coolidge was president, symbolizing a conservative era focused on economic growth and stability. In this context, everyday coins like the Lincoln cent were the lifeblood of commerce, moving quietly from hand to hand in towns and cities across the country. But the San Francisco Mint, which produced the 1924S Lincoln cent, operated under its own set of unique constraints and challenges. The Mint was tasked with serving a vast and geographically dispersed population in the western United States, an area still rapidly growing and industrializing. In 1924, the San Francisco Mint struck just over 15.4 million Lincoln cents, a moderate mintage when compared to the Philadelphia Mint's output that year, but still relatively low when measured against the entire Lincoln Wheat cent series. What makes the 1924S particularly fascinating for collectors is not just its mintage, but the condition's scarcity. While millions were produced, most entered active circulation and were subjected to the harsh wear and tear of everyday use. Copper pennies were carried loose in pockets, jangling alongside keys and other coins, exposed to dirt, sweat, and the elements. As a result, most surviving specimens show signs of significant wear, with Lincoln's features becoming soft and the iconic wheat ears on the reverse losing their sharpness. Today, the vast majority of 1924 cents available to collectors fall within circulated grades. Good, very good and fine. In these grades, the coin's value is accessible, often ranging from a few dollars up to around $10,500, depending on condition. But for those who pursue numismatic excellence, the real challenge and reward lies in locating high-grade examples, extremely fine, and about uncirculated 1924 cents are tough to find, with their surfaces retaining sharper detail and much of the original design integrity intact. These coins begin to command significantly higher premiums, as collectors prize their rarity and visual appeal. Moving even further up the grading scale, mint state examples, those showing no signs of circulation wear, are exceedingly rare for this date and mint mark combination. San Francisco cents of the 1920s often suffered from striking weaknesses and die wear, making clean, well-struck coins in mint state condition all the more desirable. Color also plays a critical role in the valuation of the 1924s. Copper coins tend to change over time, reacting with their environment and turning from the original bright red to various shades of red-brown or brown. While many 1924 cents have toned to a darker brown, a select few have retained their original red coloration, a brilliant, coppery luster that commands top dollar among collectors. A 1924 Lincoln cent graded MS65 red by professional grading services can bring prices into the high hundreds or even low thousands of dollars. Though the 1924 does not have any major recognized die varieties or errors that would elevate it to a key date status, its story is compelling in other ways. It reflects the conditions of early 20th century coin production on the West Coast, the evolving minting technology of the time, and the economic realities of a country still healing and growing after a world war. Imagine the journey of a 1924 penny, minted in the historic San Francisco Mint. It might have traveled across the Pacific coast, through booming cities like Los Angeles and Portland, into small towns and rural farms. It was the coin that paid for a newspaper, a loaf of bread, or perhaps a streetcar fare. Every scratch, every worn detail tells a story, not just of the coin's life, but of the people and places it touched. For collectors, this coin is a bridge between the past and the present, a small, copper relic that invites us to reflect on a simpler, yet challenging time in American history. It challenges us to look beyond the surface and appreciate the subtle beauty in its design, the stories behind its wear, and the history embedded in every curve and line. In the vast, diverse world of Lincoln wheat cents, the 1924 stands as a testament to endurance and quiet significance. It may not shout from the shelves of auction houses or headline collections, but its rarity and high grades and the rich tapestry of history it carries make it a treasured piece for those who seek more than just a coin. They seek a story. Next up, among the many dates in the Lincoln wheat cent series, the 1923 Lincoln cent occupies a unique position, one that balances moderate rarity with fascinating historical context. While not the rarest coin in the series, it carries an understated significance that collectors deeply appreciate. To fully understand its value and appeal, we need to delve into the economic, minting, and circulation conditions of the early 1920s, as well as examine the coin's survival pattern and collector demand. The year 1923 was a moment of transition for the United States. The post-World War I boom was waning, and the country was beginning to experience the social and economic shifts that would define the Roaring Twenties. During this era, small copper coins like the Lincoln cent were a staple of daily commerce, exchanged in everything from urban markets to rural general stores. The San Francisco Mint, responsible for producing the 1923 Lincoln cent, was a vital hub in distributing coinage throughout the western states, which were experiencing rapid growth and industrialization. San Francisco struck approximately 20.2 million Lincoln cents in 1923, a substantial number, though less than the Philadelphia Mint's massive output. But what truly makes the 1923 stand out is its combination of mintage, minting conditions, and subsequent circulation, where that has created a condition rarity in today's collecting market. The San Francisco Mint of the 1920s, though a historic and important institution, faced challenges in quality control and die maintenance. Coins from this period often show evidence of weak strikes and uneven surfaces. This means that even pennies that were never circulated might not exhibit the sharpest details, making well-struck, high-grade specimens a prized find. Most surviving 1923s Lincoln cents have been well circulated. When you hold one in your hand, you're often holding a piece of history that has passed through countless pockets, hands, and transactions. The once bold wheat ears on the reverse have often worn smooth, and Lincoln's hair and facial features are frequently faint or nearly gone. For many collectors, finding a 1923s penny in fine or very fine condition is a satisfying achievement. But these coins remain relatively common in these grades and affordable. However, the 1923s becomes far more interesting as we climb the grading scale. Extremely fine and about uncirculated coins are noticeably scarcer and begin commanding higher premiums. The real treasure, however, lies with the mint state examples. A 1923s Lincoln cent in uncirculated condition is exceedingly rare, and well-struck high-grade examples are among the most sought after by serious collectors. Color also significantly affects value. Copper coins naturally age, toning from bright red to various shades of red-brown or brown. Those 1923s pennies, retaining their original, vivid red luster, referred to as red condition, are much rarer than their brown counterparts. Red mint state specimens, especially those graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading services, can command thousands of dollars at auction. Although the 1923s does not have widely known major die varieties or error coins that set it apart from other Lincoln cents, its value as a condition rarity is well established. Its scarcity in higher grades reflects the realities of its circulation and minting. Imagine the life of a 1923s Lincoln cent, freshly minted in San Francisco, then distributed throughout the western United States. It might have been spent buying goods in a bustling city market or handed over at a rural farm supply store. It traveled on streetcars, jingled in cash registers, and was passed down through generations. Each worn detail is a testament to its journey and the hands it touched. In many ways, the 1923s Lincoln cent exemplifies the story of American coinage in the early 20th century. Not flashy or ostentatious, but essential and enduring. It offers collectors a tangible link to a dynamic period in American history and a chance to hold a piece of the past that is both accessible and meaningful. For anyone serious about collecting Lincoln wheat cents, the 1923s is a coin that invites patience, study, and appreciation for the subtle nuances of condition and history. It is a key part of the series, a bridge between the common and the rare, and a small copper reminder of a time when every penny truly mattered. Next up, when exploring the fascinating world of Lincoln wheat cents, the 1926s coin stands as a captivating piece in the puzzle of early 20th century American coinage. Though it may not be the flashiest or the rarest, the 1926s embodies the essence of the San Francisco Mint's production in the Roaring Twenties, combining interesting minting characteristics with a story of circulation and survival that continues to intrigue collectors today. The year 1926 was a period of relative prosperity and industrial growth in the United States. President Calvin Coolidge was in office, championing policies that encouraged business and economic expansion. Money was flowing steadily through the economy, and small copper coins like the Lincoln cent were the unsung heroes of everyday transactions. The San Francisco Mint, serving the vast western regions, was responsible for producing coins that would circulate through booming cities, mining towns, farms, and everywhere in between. In 1926, the San Francisco Mint struck approximately 13.8 million Lincoln wheat cents, a mintage that is modest compared to Philadelphia, but still substantial in absolute terms. However, what sets the 1926s apart isn't just its mintage figure, but the quality and condition challenges faced by collectors today. San Francisco's minting operations during the mid-1920s were marked by several technical limitations. Weak strikes and die wear were common, leading to many coins exhibiting less than sharp detail even before circulation. This means that coins in mint state condition, with full detail and strong strike, are noticeably scarce. Furthermore, like many copper coins, the 1926s faced the natural aging process of toning and color changes, often drifting toward reddish-brown or brown hues. the survival rate of high-grade 1926s pennies is relatively low, primarily due to their heavy circulation. For decades, these coins were everyday currency, jostling through pockets and registers, which led to significant wear. The majority of 1926s cents found today are in circulated grades, ranging from good to fine, occasionally very fine. These grades offer an affordable entry point for collectors, but their condition often masks the coin's finer details. For collectors seeking truly standout pieces, the challenge lies in locating 1926s cents in about uncirculated or mint state condition. These coins retain much of their original detail and surface quality, making them prized finds when a well-struck, red-colored 1926s in MS63 or better surfaces. It draws significant attention and a premium price. Professional grading services value such examples highly, and they can command thousands of dollars depending on color and strike quality. Interestingly, the 1926s Lincoln cent does not have any widely recognized die varieties or errors that significantly impact its rarity or value. Its importance stems primarily from condition scarcity and collector demand within the broader Lincoln wheat cent series. But beyond mintage numbers and grades lies the real story of the 1926s penny, its journey through American history. Picture a 1926s cent freshly struck in San Francisco, then sent to the bustling streets of Los Angeles, Seattle, or Denver. Imagine it being used to buy a newspaper, a loaf of bread, or perhaps a ticket for the streetcar. Each coin, worn or well-preserved, carries a legacy of everyday life in America's West during a time of transformation and growth. For collectors, the 1926s Lincoln wheat cent offers a chance to connect with that legacy. It challenges them to look past surface wear and appreciate the historical context and numismatic nuances that make it a meaningful addition to any collection. It is a reminder that sometimes the most rewarding coins are those that quietly tell a story of endurance, transition, and subtle beauty. In the end, the 1926s is a coin that commands respect, not for being the rarest, but for being a genuine piece of America's past, preserved in copper. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just beginning your journey into Lincoln wheat cents, this date offers a blend of history, challenge, and satisfaction that few coins can match. Next up, among the many fascinating dates in the Lincoln wheat cent series, the 1931s stands out as a coin that captivates collectors with its rarity and rich historical significance. Unlike many other dates in the series, the 1931s is regarded as a key date, a coin that commands attention not just because of its scarcity, but because of the intriguing story behind its production and survival. The year 1931 was a tumultuous time in American history. The nation was deep in the throes of the Great Depression, a period of profound economic hardship and uncertainty. Unemployment was high, banks were failing, and everyday Americans struggled to make ends meet. Despite these hardships, the United States Mint continued to produce coins, including the humble Lincoln cent, a coin that remained a vital part of daily commerce. Especially for those watching every penny, the San Francisco Mint, identified by the S mint mark, struck only around 866,000 Lincoln cents in 1931. A remarkably low mintage that makes this coin one of the rarest regular-issue Lincoln cents, produced by the San Francisco facility. This small number reflects the economic conditions of the time. With fewer transactions and reduced demand for coinage, the mint produced fewer pennies than usual. Because of this limited production, the 1931s Lincoln cent is highly prized by collectors worldwide. Its scarcity, combined with the historical backdrop of the Depression era, gives it a poignant significance. It is not merely a coin, but a symbol of resilience during hard times. Most surviving 1931s cents are well circulated, showing signs of wear consistent with decades of use. Coins in lower circulated grades, good to very fine, are still relatively affordable and represent a fantastic entry point for collectors wanting a piece of numismatic history. However, the true prize lies in the high-grade examples. Extremely fine, about uncirculated, and especially mint state 1931s pennies are exceptionally rare, because so few were made initially, and many were spent and lost during the Depression years. Surviving uncirculated specimens are considered extremely valuable. In fact, a high-grade 1930 1s Lincoln cent can command prices in the thousands of dollars, particularly if it retains its original red copper color. Color and strike quality also play critical roles in the coin's value. Like many copper coins, the 1930 1s often exhibits toning, from bright red to deep red-brown or brown. Coins that maintain their original red luster, especially in high grade, are among the most sought after by collectors and investors. There are no major die varieties or error coins documented for the 1930 1s that would affect its rarity or value significantly. Instead, its status as a key date stems from its low mintage and survival rate. Holding a 1930 1s Lincoln cent in your hand is like holding a tangible piece of the Great Depression, a reminder of an era when every penny counted more than ever. It connects collectors to the stories of hardship and perseverance that defined the early 1930s. This coin was in circulation when families tightened their belts and relied on every cent to survive. For collectors, the 1930 1s represents both a challenge and a treasure. It challenges them to seek out a coin that is scarce, often difficult to find in high quality, but immensely rewarding once obtained. It is a testament to the enduring appeal of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series and the stories that coins can tell. In sum, the 1930 1s Lincoln cent is much more than a piece of copper. It is a symbol of history, rarity, and the indomitable spirit of a nation weathering one of its toughest economic storms. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just beginning to explore Lincoln cents, the 1930 1s offers a compelling chapter in America's numismatic legacy. Next up, among the most sought-after and iconic coins in the Lincoln Wheat Cent series, the 1914D stands out as a true numismatic gem. Revered by collectors and historians alike, this small copper coin holds an outsized reputation for rarity, intrigue, and value. Understanding the allure of the 1914D Lincoln cent requires us to explore not only its limited mintage, but also the historical and minting context. That makes it a centerpiece of many collections. The year 1914 was a pivotal moment in American history and global affairs. The outbreak of World War I in Europe cast a shadow over the world, while the United States was still enjoying a period of relative economic prosperity and expansion. Against this backdrop, the Denver Mint, the D mint mark on our coin, produced Lincoln cents that would become some of the most coveted in the series. The 1914D Lincoln cent had a remarkably low mintage of only about 1.2 million coins, making it one of the lowest mintages in the Wheat Cent series. This limited number reflects the Denver Mint's relatively small scale compared to the Philadelphia and San Francisco mints, as well as the evolving demand for pennies during this period. Due to its low mintage, the 1914D quickly earned a reputation as a key date for collectors. Its rarity is compounded by the fact that many of these coins entered circulation and were heavily worn, reducing the number of high-quality specimens that survive today. This makes the 1914D not only a challenge to find, but also an exciting prize for numismatists seeking to complete or elevate their Lincoln cent sets. From a design perspective, the 1914D features the classic Lincoln Wheat Cent imagery introduced in 1909. The obverse displays a dignified portrait of Abraham Lincoln, sculpted by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse showcases the twin stalks of wheat symbolizing prosperity and agriculture, an iconic American motif. But what truly sets the 1914D apart is its condition rarity. Circulated examples are common, but typically show considerable wear. The details in Lincoln's hair, beard, and coat lapel are often worn flat, and the wheat ears on the reverse may be faint or missing. As such, most collectors are thrilled to find specimens in fine to very fine grades, which still holds significant value. However, the true treasure lies in high-grade 1914D Lincoln cents. Coins graded extremely fine or about uncirculated display sharper detail, and often command a significant premium. Mint state examples are exceedingly rare and highly prized, often fetching tens of thousands of dollars at auction, especially those with original red coloration and strong strike. What also adds to the 1914D's mystique is the history of its survival. Many were spent in everyday commerce during a time of great change in America. From the Progressive Era through World War I, the coin witnessed a nation on the brink of modernity, making it a powerful symbol for collectors. The 1914D Lincoln cent doesn't have widely known die varieties or major errors that influence its value, so the coin's appeal rests largely on its rarity, condition, and place in history. For those who appreciate the stories behind their coins, the 1914D offers a unique narrative of scarcity, beauty, and historical significance. Holding this coin connects one to the era of Lincoln's memorialization on the cent, and to a chapter of American history marked by transformation and growth. In summary, the 1914D Lincoln wheat cent is much more than a rare coin. It is a cherished piece of American heritage. Its low mintage, combined with the challenges of surviving in good condition, make it one of the most rewarding coins for Lincoln cent collectors to seek and own. Whether you are an avid numismatist or a curious enthusiast, the 1914D is a date that commands respect and admiration in any collection. Next up, the 1909S VDB Lincoln wheat cent is arguably one of the most famous and iconic coins in American numismatics. A coin that commands respect, excitement, and sometimes even awe from collectors worldwide. This small copper coin is not only historically significant, but also highly sought after due to its rarity, unique design features, and the story behind its creation. To truly appreciate the 1909S VDB, we need to rewind over a century to a transformative moment in U.S. coinage history. 1909 was the inaugural year of the Lincoln cent, a coin that forever changed the face of American money. For the first time, the U.S. Mint placed a real person, Abraham Lincoln, on the penny's obverse, a bold departure from the classical allegorical designs used previously. The design was crafted by Victor David Brenner, a renowned sculptor whose initials, VDB, were prominently placed on the reverse near the bottom rim between the wheat stalks. However, the story of those initials is where the intrigue begins. Shortly after the coin was released, public backlash arose over the prominence of Brenner's initials, which some considered too large and distracting. In response, the Mint quickly removed the initials later in 1909, making the VDB initial coins a short-lived and much sought-after variant. Among the 1909 VDB coins, the San Francisco Mint version, the 1909S VDB, is the rarest and most desirable. The San Francisco Mint struck only about 484,000 of these coins, a very low mintage compared to other Lincoln cents. This limited production, combined with the controversy over the initials, has made the 1909S VDB the holy grail of Lincoln cent collecting. Because of its rarity, the 1909S VDB commands high prices and attention among collectors. Circulated specimens can still be quite valuable, but the real prize lies in coins that exhibit strong details and original red color. Mint state examples, especially those graded MS63 and above, can fetch tens of thousands of dollars or more at auction. Beyond its rarity and value, the 1909S VDB carries a fascinating historical narrative. It represents the birth of the Lincoln cent, a coin that has since become a staple of American life. It's also a tangible reminder of the artistic vision and public reaction that shaped the coin's design and legacy. Collectors treasure the 1909S VDB not only for its scarcity, but for its symbolic importance. It embodies a shift in American coinage philosophy, from allegorical figures to honoring real historical individuals, and it opened the door to a century-long tradition of Lincoln pennies. When you hold a 1909S VDB Lincoln cent, you're holding a piece of history that has survived wars, economic changes, and generations of hands. It's a coin that tells a story far greater than its small size, linking us to the past and reminding us of the power of design, controversy, and the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln. For anyone building a Lincoln cent collection, the 1909S VDB is often the ultimate goal, a coin that combines rarity, beauty, and historic significance in a way few other coins can match.